Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of my friends in the world neighborhood. My name is Micheal Pope, and I am the host of Life is a Sacred Journey. And this episode, we are going to be exploring some of the challenges that are amidst caregiving during COVID-19. We will have a guest next week. And as you know, we have guests and then we don't have guests, and you got to put up with me. But we're going to try to share some information with you that might help you as you continue to go through sheltering in place, COVID-19 experience. Please subscribe to us on YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel, Life is a Sacred Journey. Like us on Facebook, and then follow us on Instagram. All of those places are where you can find us, and please make sure that you share this with other folks. I want to say good morning to my brother Holder, who is just signed on there. I'm waving to you, and good morning to everybody else that is either listening, watching us in whatever place you are this morning. First of all, I want to thank everybody who sent me birthday wishes, and due to the video that went on Facebook, you now know that I am 63 years old. I tried to keep that a secret from all of you, but you now know. But I want to thank everybody who sent me cards, the folks that came down my street tooting the horn, playing Prince, because everybody knows Prince is one of my favorite artists. And so we just had a really good birthday celebration. So to all of you who sent me wishes, who did it, called me, sent me cards, prayed for me, whatever, thank you. So really appreciate it. So I want to first of all start, as we always do, with our random acts of kindness. And this week what I decided to do, or we decided to do, was to give you some random acts of kindness that you could send out or participate in. So you can send someone, a cute picture of an animal. These are from the Mental Health Foundation of America. And you always know, I'm a dog lover. Hi, Diane. I'm a dog lover. And so when I send out pictures of my animals, my four-legged babies, they're always very cute. Okay, so send someone a picture of a cute animal. Send a motivational text to a friend who is struggling, or a caregiver, or someone that you know out there that may need, a kind word. Arrange to watch a film at the same time as a friend during a video call. I had last week a video dinner with some friends, and that was fun, and plan to do that again this week. And one of my friends had a video dance party, and I haven't joined them yet, but I plan to. Reach out to call a friend, a family member, or a neighbor who is experiencing loneliness and isolation. We're hearing a lot about anger and people fighting each other at grocery stores and lines, and killing people because they're being asked to be put on a mask. So isolation and loneliness is affecting our mental ability to discern and make good decisions. So let's call people and let them know that they're not alone and that they matter. So let's get involved with some random acts of kindness. I'm going to give you one more so that might help you. Arrange a cup of tea. I love this one. And virtual catch up with someone. Make sure you bring those cookies. Lemon bars are my favorite, and ginger snaps. So if you call me and you want to have a virtual tea, let's do it with some ginger snaps or some lemon bars. But those are some actual acts of kindness that you can participate in. And again, it's so important. We want to lift up our friends in Nevada, in the Sacramento area, and I hear possibly all the way down to Bakersfield, that we had a 6.5 earthquake here in this area, and we just hope that everybody is safe. I heard there's some road damage that has happened, so please be careful out there, and we hope that everybody that we know and everybody that we don't know, because we keep saying we're in this together, so we're in this together. We hope everybody is safe. I need to bring up something because I need to get all of your support, all of my friends on Facebook, all of my family and colleagues. Yesterday, I heard that the May revision of the California state budget is proposing or saying that it will eliminate community-based adult services, which is adult day healthcare, and MSSP programs, multi-senior service programs. Now, as you know, Alzheimer Services of the East Bay partners with a variety of other adult day healthcare, adult daycare, community-based adult services throughout the state of California and throughout the nation. And we've, over the last 2 decades, have always been the low-hanging fruit. When something happens in the budget, we're always the ones to be cut. Always. And when we get cut, we are never able to build that financial sustainability momentum because of those cuts. And so I'm asking you to please pick up the phone, call your local legislators, and fight for these programs. These programs make it possible for caregivers. Right now, we're serving 7 people in Berkeley every single day because their family members are essential workers who are out there on the front lines doing work within our community. Where would they leave their loved one if we were eliminated? And these are folks who need a little bit more help through the Medi-Cal system, managed care system, and every single time we get into a financial problem here, and I know this happens other places too, but I live in California, we are cut. So please go and check out, adult day healthcare services, community-based adult services, and see what we do in the community. We provide medical care, caregiver support, support groups, meals, physical therapy. My program happens to be mental health and dementia specific, but there's programs throughout all of California and Nevada that provide services to families and community. And we keep talking about community, but everything that supports the community, we seem to cut without too much regard. And I don't care that it's painful. I don't care. I don't want to hear any more from any legislator. This is painful to us. It is more painful to the families that we serve when this happens. Every single time these services get cut. So I'll get off my soapbox, but please, I'm asking you for your support and help in this area. So I want to talk a little bit because I've been getting emails, and I want to thank you for the emails and for everything. I mean, all the support that you're giving us. And I want to talk about some of the assistance that is out there for you and for family members and for your neighbors during this coronavirus pandemic. For individuals, we definitely have the direct coronavirus relief payments. Not sure how that's going. I know some people are getting their stimulus checks now. Others have received them earlier, but making sure that you can call a number, I think an IRS number, and find out whether or not you're eligible for the stimulus check. But look for it. Make sure you follow up on it because it can get you through. I don't know what the amounts are. I know that some people say they got $600. Some other people got something different. But, make sure you get your payments if you're eligible for them. The unemployment benefits have started. I hear there's a backlog. And so I know there's many folks that are still waiting for their unemployment benefits to kick in. Covered California special enrollment period, that's happening. You have paid sick leave. Coronavirus testing is now happening almost in every single county for free. I'm actually going to go and get mine done for free in the Walnut Creek area later today. So make sure if you're thinking that you need to have a test, look it up in your county area and make that happen. There's a lot of information about food insecurity because, as you well know, we were already in a food insecurity, I'm going to say, crisis in the United States, and California is no different. And so with these food insecurities, we have to help. And so there's churches and community-based services and Spectrum and Meals on Wheels and all kinds of programs that are working together. I love that faith-based and community service are finally working together instead of acting like they have to be separate boats. They need to be working together to serve the community. Our vision and mission is the same. And so for food insecurity, you can find places throughout your community. I also want to talk a little bit about starting a garden. If you have any pots at your house, that big pots, you can begin to grow vegetables and different things. This is going to be one of my pushes throughout the next year or two of my life. I want to see that in places where there are food deserts and food insecurity, that we're teaching people how to garden. I have a good friend, Pastor Sung Ho Lee. He and his wife actually have chickens. And so they're self-sustaining with their own eggs and things of that nature. And so it's really, really important to try to think about sustainability and how can we sustain our humanity with what we have. And so gardening is one of those things. And now during shelter in place, if you're a caregiver caring for someone at home, gardening is something that you guys can do together and create food for yourself. And so those are the kinds of things that I'm looking for happening. And hopefully you can begin to do that in your own home as well. The sad news that I bring to this broadcast, and I've asked Carla McManus, our program director here at Berkeley, to join me because I always think it's better for you if there's more than one voice. We've been hearing through Adult Protection Services that there's been more reports of what people are calling abuse, whether it be physical abuse, financial abuse, but some sort of adult abuse. And it's happening with seniors and possibly some of those folks that are in this position are caregivers that are stressed out. Caregivers who have been caring for their loved ones at home since the beginning of the pandemic, and now they're continuing to shelter in place with their loved one. And so personal stress is high. Both Carla and I have also heard from many of our families. We've lost a lot of our participants, and when a lot to me is more than two, and more than two of our participants in the last 8 weeks, have passed away. I'm not saying that anybody did anything to them, but what I'm saying is these were folks that were coming to an adult day healthcare program, getting engaged every day, spending time with their friends, and giving their caregivers a break. And all of that is a holistic approach to longevity. You know, I'm not saying that ASAP gave them the the fountain of living forever. All other adult day healthcare services is that we provide an opportunity for people to be engaged. And as you all know, even those of us that are able-bodied, having to shelter in place has been hard. So can you imagine what it must be like for someone with Alzheimer's, for someone with dementia, for somebody who is going through this time where all the unknowns, every day there's an unknown. So if you're a caregiver, whether you're a voluntary caregiver or you're a caregiver who is caring for someone because of your obligation, because we do know those situations exist as well, let's talk about ways that you can manage your stress. I want you to be able, first of all, the first thing that I've learned about managing stress is to breathe. And so, you know, breathing is one of those things that we don't do. Because I meditate, I've learned to breathe. And so take a moment, and I'm going to show you right now. Breathing isn't this shallow, quick breathing. It's breathing in, holding that breath, and blowing it out. So taking time when you're stressed out to stop talking, stop reacting, and just take your breath in, hold it, and breathe out. And if you do that every single time you get stressed out and don't react to the stress, verbally or physically, you will find over a period of time, this will become a habit, and you'll find that this will be the place that you go when you become that moment of stress, that click moment of stress, breathing. So start with that. Identify what's stressing you out. I'm going to tell you what I believe is stressing out most of Americans, whether they're caregivers or actually humanity across the world, is a little bit of this, a little bit of social media, a whole lot of television, a whole lot of misinformation. And as I've been challenging people over the last 8 weeks, take a day away from social media, from your email, from your phones, from your television. And if you can do it for 24 hours, that's perfect. But at least try to do it for at least a couple of hours a day, just to get away from constantly taking in information. The human body and the human brain was not made to be stimulated all the time like that. We're supposed to have time of rest and peace. And so stop taking in so much data. Slow it down, curve the data intake. And then identify what you can and cannot do. What did I just say? Identify what you can and cannot do. There's things that I cannot do right now that I've been thinking about doing. At the end of the day, I might not ever do them. And so what can you do? What are you in control of? What does allow you to have flexibility in your life? What does make you smile? What does make you laugh? Instead of trying to keep pushing that needle up, or like they say, that ball up the hill, pick up the ball and carry it up the hill. And that means don't sweat the small stuff. There's a group of books around that are titled that. And so don't sweat the small stuff. You can only control what you can control. And that really is a good tip for caregivers. And then take action to reduce your stress. I think that what we sometimes do is we get caught up in these whirlwinds, and then we start to, one stressor leads to another. And if you're like me, I start dropping stuff. I start stuttering. I start losing things when I get stressed out, and then that causes more stress. And then I start to get angry. And so, take action to control those things when they're happening in your life. And so I wanted to ask Carla to join us. Carla, you and I have been receiving a lot of calls, and you've been intimately involved in helping our caregivers, when we were not in this pandemic state, but now you're on the phone with them because we're doing telephonic care. What are you hearing from our caregivers? What are they needing?
They're really lacking that respite. One thing, like you said, we have had several deaths, just one a week, which is extremely high when we can go, 4 to 6 months without any. And I think a lot of it's just, I'm getting from the family, is a failure to thrive. The person feels like they have nothing left, nothing to do. They can't see their friends. They can't see the family. And they're just feeling like they're giving up.
Yeah.
And I think that making sure that there's purpose and having something for them to do, which is what, adult day healthcare really does, gives them so much of that willingness and desire to be out. And I think that they're feeling it, and the caregiver's feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing enough, I'm not doing my best because this person just doesn't want to be here anymore. I'm failing. And I feel like the caregivers are just getting so burnt out. And they're calling and saying, when can we bring our loved one in? And my social workers are doing an amazing job, trying to support them, trying to have conversations daily. But really just that outlet, they need some time to themselves.
Yeah.
We're also seeing that falls have increased a lot. We've had several massive falls because people aren't moving.
Yes.
They're keeping them busy. And the caregivers, maybe they can't get them that motivated. They don't have the equipment they need. They don't have the time because maybe they're working from home and trying to care for their loved one, and they're not able to provide all that physical activity. So we're seeing an increase of falls.
Yeah.
And the results we're seeing now is that now we're at a place where I'm starting to find that I'm hearing more families are placing people.
Yes.
It's just, they're feeling like they're out of options. I'm out of options. I'm out of resources. We don't know when this is going to end. I can't do it anymore. So we need to find a facility for mom or dad or grandma or grandpa. And it's really sad to see that happen.
Yes. Yes. And what you just said is touching me, where you say, here they're at the point now where placement wasn't an option. They weren't even thinking about placing their loved one in a congregate setting. And and again, know that Alzheimer's Services of the East Bay and Life is a Sacred Journey are friends to many assisted living, nursing home and board and care facilities throughout the California state as well as Alameda County. But we also know that people do thrive when they're home and in a home environment. Adult day healthcare not only supports that, but they also support people to be in board and cares, because Carla, you have program participants that come from board and cares as well?
Absolutely. We have quite a number of them. And we love partnering with our assisted livings and our skilled nursing. We do see people that come in from those. We get them from the board and cares. But everybody's just getting burnt out.
Yeah.
Even the formal caregivers, at the board and cares, they're saying they're having a harder time engaging people. It's just a hard time for everyone right now. And
so one of those things that we have to do is keep those folks engaged. Good morning, Renee, and good morning, Betty. We want to keep them engaged. And so one of the activities that I pulled together here, it's called a matching accessories activity. Here at Alzheimer's Services of the East Bay, we became Montessori certified, and we learned some different ways to engage people in activities. And I love this matching accessory. Hey, Jan, this matching accessory activity. And what it is, it's an activity where you can match shoes and handbags or belts with shoes if it's a gentleman, and patterns and sizes and colors, and just throw all that stuff on the floor and show your loved one what you want them to do. So if it's pairing up the shoes, have them pair up the shoes either by color, by heel height, by texture. You can do many variations of it. So that's we call that a matching accessory activity. Another activity is you could take, and I don't have it. All right, well, I'll take this card. You could take something like this card and cut it in different shapes and make it into a puzzle. So you don't have to go to the store and buy puzzles. You can take some of your old magazines, cut those pages up and big enough so they're big shapes, different shapes, and turn it into a puzzle, and you and your loved one can do that. You can do things like listening activities. I love listening activities. You can take rice and put them in a jar and shake it, and they can become musical instruments for your loved one. So you just have to kind of think out of the box. I think we all have enough toilet paper in our house, so you can start collecting the toilet paper insides, and you can put tape on either side, fill them with beans, and make rain poles or whatever they call those things. Dancing. Get up and move and dance with your family member. It's good exercise for everybody. And I am going to say, Carla and I had this conversation the other day. You can go outside, okay? You can. You are not if you're scared, and I'm not laughing at the fear of catching something that could possibly kill, but put a mask on. But do not feel like you cannot go outside. All of the research has shown with social distancing, you can go for a walk. Now, we're not talking about going to the beach and hanging out and having a bonfire on the beach with 50 of your closest and bestest friends. We're talking about you and your loved one. If you're sheltering in place with that person, you can walk with that person. If it's a stranger, you have to be 6 to 10 feet away from that individual. Easy to do. I know the traffic is getting heavier. I noticed that this morning myself. There's more people out and about. But get up in the early morning when the sun is coming up. I know it's a little crispy, but the birds are singing. Take your loved one for a good walk, and you will help decrease your stress, and you will help their anxiety, because sheltering in place during this time of the year is so hard because it's daylight from 5:45 in the morning to almost 8 something at night. That's a long amount of daytime to be sedentary in one space, focused and hearing nothing but bad news, and not getting out into the world. So that is definitely some advice that we want to share. Carla, is there anything else that I know you like the touching activities, using different fabrics and everything. Talk a little bit about that in our last couple of minutes.
So we have a lot of different fabrics or just textures of some people who are tactile. You can put them on a mat or on attach them to a blanket so that they have something to fidget with. There's been some great things called fiddle muffs, and you can put beads and different things on there, metals, fabric, wood. We had a great student that joined us at one point, and she had fake grass, and people love to run their hands through the fake grass.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just something to keep your hands occupied so that you're not constantly trying to fidget with things or find things to do with them. Just keeps your hands occupied.
Yeah.
But I did want to mention another thought that we had the other day was doing an in-house scavenger hunt.
What a great idea.
So getting a list of things, and it can be, find one red item, find a box in a cupboard, just different things to get people moving, even if it is in the house.
Right.
It gives them a purpose, something to look for. You guys can do it together. It's kind of fun. You might find more than one thing. You might find nothing. You might find something that you'd forgotten about. But just something to get people moving around a little more. So that was another idea we came up with the other day for our activity kits.
I love that idea. And then pampering. One of the things that we really talk about a lot is the pampering. Now with us washing, I don't know about you, but my hands are a mess right now from washing and hand sanitizer and bleach. I've got a little spray bottle with bleach in it for, wiping surfaces as we go, all of that kind of thing. But, pampering your loved one with lotion on their hand and have them do it for you. Oh my gosh, and this tactile touching, this comfort, this connection, being intentional with the connection is so very, very important. The other that I love, and this is something I thought about yesterday, is the magical mystery bag. You can take one of those little bags that you get jewelry in, and you can put little items in it. And then it's a mystery bag, and you can have your loved one put their hand in and try to figure out what that item is in the bag. You can put a couple of different items in: a comb, a pencil, a pen, a rock, a tiny rock, or a button, or something of that nature. So, as you know, there's so much. A half hour, we're already there. A half hour goes by so quickly in our lives. And so I want to thank you all for coming and making Life is a Sacred Journey a part of your life. Every Friday at 8 a.m. we do a Facebook Live, and we need you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like us on Facebook, and then please follow us on Instagram. But more importantly, if you have a caregiver in your life, we all do, pass this on. We have a plethora of topics that we have discussed over the last 7 years that will be so important to caregivers out there and to anyone caring, for a loved one or even professional caregivers. I hope that you all are okay and feeling like you are a part of a bigger community. I think sometimes we get pigeonholed in our own heads and we forget we are a part of a bigger community. I am reminded of that, but when I see all of your names come up and that you're watching and that you're waving and that you're supporting this activity, and you're supporting it not just because it's Micheal Pope, but you're supporting it, I hope, because you see the value of what we're trying to do. We're trying to be a connection between caregivers and the greater humanity as we go through COVID-19. And afterwards, we'll figure out what the next phase is for Life is a Sacred Journey. But right now, it's COVID-19. Right now, it's us coming together and working together. And so have a great weekend. Stay safe. Use your hand sanitizer. Wear your mask. And we'll see you next week. Signing off. Life is a Sacred Journey. I'm Micheal Pope. And peace.